You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Justin Benton is with us, ProfitablePrivateIslands.com.
What's going on, Ron? How are you? Great to see you again.
Good seeing you too. Profitable Private Islands.
Absolutely.
I can't wait till we hear about that. But hey, we got to celebrate today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Dewey Decimal System Day. I must admit that my wife does help out a lot of special needs adults. So they spend a lot of time at the library. I don't even know if they use a Dewey Decimal System at the libraries anymore. But today's also National Lager Day. And I'm going to throw this one in there because I can. I'm not a beer guy. I'm not a lager guy. You guys, I don't know. Give me red wine. I like to go to Paso Robles. I don't like Napa as much. Red wine is good. Tito's, although they do have some political preferences that I'm not a fan of. Good tequila. Our friends over at Comisario Tequila. But lager? I don't know. Josh, you a lager guy? Okay, Josh is a lager guy. So is there good lagers? I mean, are there lots of types of lagers? I don't know this whole story with lagers. I guess I just thought it's a fancy word for beer. Kind of like seltzers or any of these other ones. I don't know. So put in the chat, what's your favorite lager? If you're a lager person, what's your favorite lager? Put that in the chat or in the comments. And I will tell you that if you're listening to us on radio this afternoon, we record live every morning. If you want to join us on any of our social channels, 9 a.m. weekdays, we record the program live as opposed to recording the program dead. But that's a different story. But if you're listening on the radio today, just say it in your car or wherever you're listening. We will hear you because Big Brother's watching. Okay, let's see what the markets are doing today. Well, if the computer works. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 2 points. The S&P 500 is flat. The NASDAQ's up 26. Oil's up 59 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, well, that 10-year Treasury is, I guess they want me to take some sort of a study, and I'm not doing it. 4.24. The markets are not set up real good for mortgage rates right now. But after the first of the month, we're going to see, in my opinion, just my forecast, and I don't do financial advice, but I think we're going to see the market drop significantly after the first of the month. Why? Well, don't you think that the president-elect has some ideas about cutting taxes? Well, if that's the case, would you want to take any capital gains right now or wait till the beginning of the month? Might be a good idea to wait. And our friends over at Chapman University, Their economic forecast is on Thursday. And for those of you that are regulars with Ron Siegel Radio, you do know that I did study at Chapman College. It wasn't even a university back then. One of my degrees, I was one class short of an economics degree. If I was not having so much fun in the fraternity, I probably would have taken that extra class and got the economics degree to go with the other three. But, all I can say is it is what it is. You go there. What do you go to college for? Have a good time.
It is what it is.
Okay, let's see what else is going on in the world. A lot of fires. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there because I'm the host of the show and I can. So what I'm going to say right now is I'm going to tell you that, maybe if our governor wasn't so busy trying to fight everything that the president-elect has that he wants to do, or when President Trump was in office previously, maybe if he wasn't so busy fighting all that stuff, he would have spent a little bit of his time dealing with maybe getting our forests in line. I'm just throwing that out there because I think that would have been a good idea. I did talk to some fire folks, some fire chiefs that were on the show previously, and they made a comment that, there was things that were being done that they said in the name of environmental benefits, they stopped doing. Well, I wonder if a controlled fire that clears out some of the underbrush, do you think that's better for the environment or these big wildfires that we have? Just curious. You tell me what you think. And as I have the news broadcasts on in the studio here, I am watching another wildfire out there. I think it's in the Malibu area. And it's, you feel for the folks out there, but like I say all the time when I talk about gas prices, why do we expect anything different when we keep voting for the same people? And I'm an old guy and I'm a square guy, and I never thought until our guest came on radio. I was never ever into, maybe 50 years ago, 45 years ago, I did try marijuana once, didn't like it, but now, our guest, Justin, maybe concurrent with him being an islander, he brought our favorite CBD product to Ron Siegel Radio. And I still say it's the only one that I like. So we're going to talk to him about island life when we come back. But, the governor's gotten his nose into that one too, into the CBD, not in a good way. But, of course, then again, what does he do that's right? But again, and I have people that say, Ron, you can't say those kind of things. You're doing a live radio show in Southern California, and you talk about these things about the governor that is a little goofy. Yeah, I'm going to tell you like I see it. But we're going to see something new today. And as I've shared with you many, many times, we got into something, about 2 years ago and really heavily focused on it now as a certified liability advisor. And what do we do as a certified liability advisor? We focus on helping families build wealth through better debt management. But why do you need to build wealth if you're not going to have a good time and not be able to enjoy it with your family? Let's talk about that, because I don't know about you. I don't know that I can afford a private island, but we're going to talk to Justin Benton about that. What will it take for real estate prices to come down, and avoiding pain, fears, and misbeliefs? First-time home buyer edition. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
And with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit Ron Siegel.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FH.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990 and every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates, with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Yeah, they're all over the place. Hey, let's see what rates did yesterday. Conventional 30-year fixed down 6.558. Jumbo 30-year fixed 6.829, that was down. FHA 30-year fixed 6.208, that was down. VA 30-year fixed 6.09, that was up. USDA 30-year fixed 6.207, that was down. And every weekday, as early as the data allows, yes, we do put out our market thoughts. rsrlinks.com/market minute. rsrlinks.com/market minute. And let's see what the markets are doing today. Well, and we do this on a regular basis. So let's see where we are. And the markets are kind of just sitting there floating along until we get the CPI numbers tomorrow. S&P 500 is down just ever so slightly, not enough to even talk about. The 10-year Treasury is up 3 basis points. The mortgage-backed securities are down 7 basis points, which means when the bond goes down, rate goes up. 7 basis points doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. So we're not going to even really focus on that. And, just mortgage rates are just going right along. Now, remember, if you're still thinking about what you want to do with mortgage rates, it's all strategic. And I've shared this with you so many times that, I'm going to do it again because I can. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. We're always looking at what the right strategies are for you. And it's just the way that we constantly look at things. So let's take a look and see why the markets are doing what they're doing right now. Let's see. It's all about the CPI report. Let's think about where we're going to go. And, you can go and see what they're going to do tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you today what I think they're going to do tomorrow. Most important data this week is October Consumer Price Index, which will be released tomorrow. Market estimates are as follows. The CPI headline, 0.2% monthly reading. Year over year to increase from 2.7 to 2.7 from 2.6. CPI, that's the important number that the Federal Reserve looks at. 0.3% monthly reading year over year to increase to remain at 3.3%. The replacements for headline are very small, which makes it hard to make progress and will likely lead to the headline inflation rising 0.1% on a year-over-year basis. Core rate is expected to remain at 3.3, but the wild card will be shelter, which makes up 46% of the core reading. We believe there is a chance that shelter comes in beneath the estimates, and it leads to the year-over-year figure coming in 0.1% beneath estimates. If that were to occur, the bond market would likely react favorably. Final Q3 reading on productivity was unchanged at 2.2%. As expected, the level of productivity is a decent level, but was unchanged, yet unit labor costs were revised slightly lower. Unit labor costs were reported at 0.8%, much less than previous reading of 1.9%, and below estimates of 1.5%. This was revised lower due to lower hourly compensation, which was originally 4.2%, revised to 3.1%, and was likely the result of the QCEW labor data. That's where you get real data, not like the Bureau of Labor Statistics, where they give us the BS report. If there were less jobs over the last year than expected, there was then less compensation. We're starting to see that filter through into the reports like the GDI and today's release. This was a positive for the bond market and wage pressured inflation, yet it was overshadowed by strong small business confidence. The November Small Business Optimism Index jumped 8 points to 101.7 as small business owners are much more optimistic on the future outlook post-election. A lot going on right there. And, one of the things that no one's talking about, but you'll hear it on Ron Siegel Radio, just read a stat, and this will surprise nobody who's a regular listener of Ron Siegel Radio, that we've got 6,000 job losses in the state of California in fast food workers. 6,000 job losses. Anybody want to guess why? Yeah, $20 an hour minimum wage. So kiosks are taking over for that $20 an hour minimum wage. We kind of predicted that for you, but that is what's happening. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 today. We're diving into the world of luxury, freedom, and opportunity with Profitable Private Islands, a unique platform that teaches the ultra-affluent secrets of how to find, own, and profit from private islands. It's more than just a dream escape. It's about creating exclusive retreat profit centers like Airbnb for private islands, really, that generate income and offers unparalleled security in these uncertain times. Okay, I want to see how we get security from that. We're going to find that out. Whether you're looking for a private sanctuary for your loved ones or a high-yield investment, PPI shows you the insider strategies to make it happen, Let's explore how owning a piece of paradise can transform your lifestyle and your portfolio. Now, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't give financial guidance. But our guest, Justin Benton, Profitable Private Islands. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to see you again. It's been a couple years.
Yeah, you look like you just came back from Margaritaville.
Well, it's I've spent a lot of time down in the Caribbean. As you were talking about your fraternity days before we came on, I did a semester abroad, in fact, in the Dominican Republic, and that's where I really fell in love with the Caribbean vibe, the islands. Fortunately, I was blessed that my family, we've had a private island in the Bahamas since I was a little boy. So the reason, the security, to answer your question, was in these uncertain times when we have all these things going on around the world in conflict. When the thing happened in March of 2020 and the world shut down and everything got a little wild and crazy, we just hopped on a plane, and you can get to the Bahamas through Miami, and you can either take a boat or a water plane. And we went to our island and said, okay, let's see what happens. And when you own your own island, you have your own sovereignty. Depends where you live. There's some places that are much more autonomous and allow you to basically call it your own country. And then we didn't have to worry about whatever was going on in the rest of the world. It could sort itself out. And then when the world calmed down and was cool again, then we came back. So that's a little taste of those that I knew that framework 4 years ago, but it didn't seem like many other people knew that you can actually own a private island, and they start as little as less than $1 million. And of course they go up to 10, 20, 30, $100 million. But there are islands out there that you can own, and so you feel safe. But like you said before, there's also a way to turn a profit too. Think high-end Airbnb.
Now, that seems kind of interesting to me that you can own the island and think safe. Like, so does I have to have my own police force, or do I get a pirates, or what's going on with those kind of things? Because I do have a friend that actually had some problems with his boat off of Mexico and was chased down by pirates. So they're out there. We know that. So do you have those issues when you have a private island?
Well, it's always good, for security, regardless of where you live, right? And so having security is certainly something that people are mindful of. Some people like to, stock up to the teeth themselves or have a private security officer on site, on campus. And, it just depends on obviously your financial situation. But yeah, of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce and, Richard, Branson, they all have private security on their islands.
So how do you have to, I mean, obviously it's not like Survivor, is it? Do you have food shipments? Does Amazon deliver?
Well, it depends on your island. So if you think of the Bahamas, right, you've got Nassau, which takes international flights from LAX, if you ever want to tag along, Ron. And straight shot on Alaska Air. Shout out to Alaska Air if you want to hit me up with some more points. But so yeah, you land, you've got everything you want. Amazon delivers there. And yeah, you might have to go back to the main island, little boat ride in the Caribbean, 80 degrees, maybe catch a tuna on the way, and sashimi it up when you land at the post office. But it depends where you live, and that's a lot what we do. We help people understand what their options are. Where do you live? Is it within a quick flight? Some people, we're over here, in California, so some people like the South Pacific more. If you go to the East Coast, people tend to like the Caribbean more. And then obviously there's overseas and things like that. But really, we like to focus here around the United States, whether it's the Caribbean, which is what I have the most experience and expertise in. But we do help people in other places like the South Pacific. You can get to Fiji on a straight shot on Fiji Airlines in 10 hours too. So there's the great thing about LAX, and there's not a lot of people going to say great things about LAX, but you can basically get anywhere you want to go on a straight shot. So there you have it.
That sounds kind of interesting. So do I have to have my own airport then? Is that, if you're saying I have to have a straight shot, I mean, how does that work? I'm just totally clueless about this stuff, Justin.
Yeah, well, it's a new thing. Like I said, I just knew it because I lived it and I grew up with it. But when COVID hit in 2020, we had to figure out, there were rules, especially out here in California, as good as I do. things got really crazy, and they started, shutting businesses down and telling us what we had to do and didn't have to do, and didn't feel real freeing to me. And I could see kind of the path they were going on. So we just loaded up and took off. And people just didn't know that opportunity is available for everybody. You just have to know where to look. And again, like you and I were talking, Ron, too, is we've got some great connections for those that do want financing. Depending upon the country that you're in, it's a really smart play when it comes to investment, real estate strategy. There's lots of different countries that, for you, I'm sure like Puerto Rico. There are things with Puerto Rico that if you are considered a resident, which means you live 18 months out of 36 months in Puerto Rico, you're considered a Puerto Rican resident, and you do not have to pay the IRS $1. There's a flat fee of around 4% that you would pay to the Puerto Rican government. And again, so every state, every country has a different set of tax benefits, has a different way of doing businesses and writing up titles and how autonomous. Like, for example, if you were to buy an island in Mexico, you really only own that piece of property, the real estate, for 99 years. So you're really leasing it. So that's not something you'd be able to pass down generationally like it's happened for my family. So there's all kinds of little intricacies that we like to go over and, do like a strategy call to understand what your needs are and then point you in the right direction. And then you can just go off and do it, or we can put on the white gloves and help do it with you to find that dream paradise that will keep your family safe and live the life of luxury like those good old days of the rich and famous. and who knows? And when you're not there, just like Airbnb, you could rent it out to others that would love to spend, some are spending upwards of $100,000 a day to rent a private island.
Holy cow. We're going to talk more about 100,000. Now you really got my attention. We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. What will it take for real estate prices to come down? And avoiding pain, fears, and misbeliefs, first time home buyer edition. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 795.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. What will it take for real estate prices to come down? You may be wondering if home prices are going to crash. And believe it or not, some people might even be hoping this happens so they can finally purchase a more affordable home. But experts agree that's not what's in the cards, and here's why. There are more people who want to buy a home than there are homes available to purchase. That's what drives up prices. Let's break down and let's break that down and explore why nationally home prices are not going to be coming down anytime soon. Prices depend on supply and demand. The housing market works like any other market. When demand is high and supply is low, prices rise. According to the latest estimates, the U.S. is facing a housing shortfall of several million homes. That means there are far more people looking to buy, that's the demand, than there are homes for sale, that's supply. That mismatch is the key reason why prices won't fall at the national level. As David Childers, president of Keeping Current Matters, puts it, quote, the main driving force on pricing is the limited amount of inventory that most markets across the country. That issue is not going to be solved overnight or in the next 12 months, unquote. How did we get here? Let's take a look. For over 15 years, home builders haven't been building enough homes to keep up with the buyer demand. After the 2008 housing crisis, home building slowed significantly, and it's only recently started to recover. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you are seeing a chart. Builders aren't overbuilding. They're trying to catch up. Even with the construction on the rise over the past few years, builders are playing catch up, and according to AmericanProgress.org, they're still not even keeping up with today's demand, let alone making up for years of underbuilding. And as long as there's a housing shortage, home prices will remain steady or increase in most areas. What about next year? The majority of experts agree prices will keep rising next year, but at a much slower, healthier pace. You're seeing another graph, 2025 home price forecasts. But it's important to note, home prices vary by market. What happens nationally might not reflect exactly what's happening in your area. If your local market is more inventory available, prices could grow more slowly or even decline slightly. But in areas where inventory remains tight, prices will keep climbing. And that's what's happening throughout most of the country. That's why it's crucial to work with a local real estate expert who understands your market and can explain what's going on where you live. Bottom line, if you're wondering what it'll take for prices to come down, it all goes back to supply and demand. With inventory still limited in most markets, prices are likely to remain steady or rise. To see what's happening with home prices where we live, let's connect. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And don't forget, if you want to know exactly what's happening with home prices in your zip code, rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. Every week, our friends over at Altos Research track every home for sale in the country and give us a report And you can get it right there, rsrlinks.com/market report. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, we are talking about private islands with Justin Benton this morning. And I'm just in shock, Justin, that you can do these kind of things because, do they have like a for sale sign on the island, or how do you find islands that are for sale?
Well, there's a couple of resources that are out there, and that's again some of the things that we'll cover. There's a network. I mean, there's roughly 2,000 private islands, so it's a small finite universe that are for sale at any given time.
So supply and demand
it's
again.
A lot like out here in California. I'm out here on the beach, and so a lot of people try to move in, and they try to go to the normal places to find a place to live or buy a house. But the thing is, when the market is so hot, that it's almost like you need to know somebody before it gets on the market. And so those are some of the things that we do. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll take people on a tour, and we'll go to a country and maybe hit 3 or 4 of the ones that we really like. And then you can just go check it out and join, and we'll have the yachts and we'll have all the fun. And then that's all part of the experience to actually go there and see it. 'Cause you're not going to buy an island unless you go and check it out. And might as well make a fun trip out of it, bring the family and hang out for a week or two and do some island hopping and some island shopping.
So do you, when you look at all these islands, 2,000 private islands, and again, that goes to kind of what our real-time real estate segment was today, supply and demand. I don't know if they're making any more islands. That generally will only come, I guess, with a volcano or some sort of an eruption or something. So you got a limited amount of supply. And if people really want them, I mean, do you have to do your own building, or how does all that work?
Again, some have real estate on them already, so you can just move in ready, right? And you could host retreats. You can do that high-end Airbnb model that we have as well. But again, some don't. And so there's islands in the Bahamas, for example, that are around $800,000. Beautiful piece of land, 5-10 acres. The white sandy beach, the turquoise water, but there's nothing on it. So you would have to build. And that's another thing that we would help with. There's a package where we'll show you how to get the right permits with the right country. We'll show you how to talk to the right builders and all those types of things. And then you can build your dream home down there. And again, the thing that I get really excited about is, number one, it's you get a place to know that your family's safe. Number two, you get to enjoy this incredible lifestyle and pass it down generationally. So you just, pass it down to your children. They can pass it down to their children. And for example, Richard Branson paid around $150,000 for his Necker Island down in the Bahamas. And right now, I forget what it's the going rate for it, but he's the one that's charging $118,000 a day. So basically what he paid for it, he's charging that a day to rent out the island. And he has some buildings on there and things like that, 48 guests. So that's really the model that is out there. And it's just, people just don't know about it. And sometimes people think it's just, not even an idea. But then when you wrap in the potential tax savings, certain, properties in like Cayman Islands, Puerto Rico, I've already talked about how to absolutely not pay taxes. So there are a lot of things that people just don't know. And I knew about it. Our family knew about it. I knew that I was going to be safe. My family was going to be safe. But like I said, when I did it and started telling other people about it, they were like, you can own an island for $800,000? What? And so, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I've been helping people out with.
So how do you deal with weather and things like that? I mean, you have, obviously, I mean, I'm oversized, so I don't know about a seaplane for me because I don't think they let whales on seaplanes. But you have to know watch weather reports in advance so you don't go at the wrong times of year or whatever.
Well, again, certainly every season had where the Caribbean, there's the wet season and the hurricane season and things like that you want to be mindful of. It's similar to what we see in Florida, obviously, every year in the Caribbean. But what you do is this comes down to building materials. You can make a building that is, safe when it comes to hurricanes. Now, look, Category 5, 200 mile an hour, there's not really much that's going to stand up against it. But there are ways to have shelters and to make sure that your family is safe and things like that, so you can time it out. But again, it depends on how, if you're building it or buying one with a building on it, you need to make sure how hurricane proof is this thing. And again, these are knowing the right builders, the right materials to make sure that your island's safe. But then again, as you know, I mean, there's, this thing called insurance. And so you take out your insurance policy as well. And if the house gets blown down, then you just, you give a call to your local agent and they help you
out. Your local
out.
agent on the island that's your island.
With fires. I mean, we got them going on down the street here in Malibu.
That's kind of, this is so out of the ordinary for somebody like me. I mean, obviously you've done, it your whole life. So some of us we're real new to it. Although I was on a call last week with a new real estate company that's just coming to California. They've been around a whole 2.5 years, but I think they're over there, doing luxury properties in different countries as well. So it's kind of interesting to have you on today talking about this. And I had no clue at anything at all about what you're doing.
We're going to have to take you on the next tour, Ron. We'll get you on a plane. We'll probably fly Alaska Airlines. Like I said, it's a straight shot, 9 hours. We'll land in Nassau, and I'll show you all around the place, and we'll make sure that you get to know all the local lenders in the area, and before you know it, you'll be writing mortgages for the Caribbean.
That sounds just so interesting to me. Do you get? I mean, like you were there. You said during the wonderful time period there in the 2020 area, where all of us really had a good time.
That's how this world happened. We wouldn't be here without it.
So, do you get like island fever when you're there? How do you deal with things? Well, Josh is telling me we're going to talk about that when we come back. And how do you invest and how do you get a hold of Justin? We're going to talk about all that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. We'll be right back. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Who Do You Know segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com. Best loan on the market. Home Select loan. If you qualify, you can even go and use the equity in your current property to go buy an island. Think about that part. Who Do You Know segment, avoiding pain, fears, and misbeliefs, first-time homebuyer edition. Does the thought of taking on a mortgage feel overwhelming, especially with today's economy? You're not alone. Many first-time homebuyers experience anxiety about making such a big financial commitment. The rising cost of homes, fluctuating interest rates, and the fear of unexpected expenses make it easy to see why taking on a mortgage can feel like a huge risk. But here's the thing. There's a way to approach buying your first home with confidence and without stretching your finances too thin, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. It's completely normal to feel cautious about making such a big investment. The economy is unpredictable, and you might be worried about the burden of monthly payments, especially when prices are high and rates are rising. These concerns are common, and I want you to know that you're not alone. But what if I told you that some of the fears we face as first-time buyers aren't as daunting as they seem? Let's take a look at some of the most common worries that first-time home buyers like you may have. The fear of overextending financially, the fear of buying at the wrong time, the fear of taking on too much debt. But here's the truth. Each of these fears can be managed, and understanding how to balance your budget with your long-term goals is the key to buying a home safely without feeling overextended. Many of you are worried about the idea of taking on a mortgage in these uncertain economic times, and that makes sense. When you've been renting for years and finally think about buying, it feels like a huge leap. And then there's the fear of what could happen if the market shifts again or if something unexpected pops up. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. While renting might seem like a safe option in the short term, it comes with its own set of risks. For one, rents are only going to keep rising. And importantly, when you rent, you don't build any equity. You're essentially paying someone else's mortgage. Over time, that's a lot of money down the drain. But owning a home, that's an investment. It's a way to build wealth. And with the right strategy, home ownership can be much more stable than renting, even in times of economic uncertainty. So how do you navigate this uncertainty and avoid the fear of overextending? This is where I come in. My job as a certified liability advisor is not just about getting you into a home. It's about helping you understand exactly what you can afford based on your lifestyle, budget, and long-term goals. Here's how we do that. Number one, understanding your monthly costs. Number two, fixed rate mortgages. Is it the right answer for you? Maybe, maybe not. Home ownership is an investment. I know buying a home is a big decision, but it's a smart one. Over time, your mortgage payments are building equity in your home. Money you can use for future investments, a future sale, or even leverage for things like retirement savings, while renting means paying someone else's mortgage. Buying means you're investing in your own future. Number four, a tailored approach to affordability. One of the biggest concerns I hear from first-time buyers is about affordability. But the truth is, many people overestimate how much they need for a down payment or monthly payment. My job is to help you get a clearer picture of what you can comfortably afford. I'll help you make sure that you're not stretching your budget too thin, and I'll work with you to make sure you're set up for long-term financial success. If you've been holding back on purchasing your first home because you're worried about affordability or you're unsure about how to navigate these uncertain times, let's chat. I can help you break down the numbers and find out what's really affordable for you. This isn't about buying a house. It's about making a smart decision for your financial future. Don't let fear or misbelief stop you from achieving your homeownership dreams. Reach out today and let's figure out how we can make this work for you confidently and safely. Your future is worth the investment, and I'm here to help you get there. That is the Who Do You Know segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Continue our conversation this morning. Justin Benton is with us. We're talking about profitable private islands. And I don't know about you, but I am extremely intrigued. Just because I've been doing this for a long, long time, and we're dealing with something I've never, ever heard of. So I like talking about things that I know nothing about. So I get to learn right along with our audience. So let me pepper you more questions, Justin.
Fire away. Yeah, I know it's exciting when you really start to get your head wrapped around it. That there's something you can do with your money. Number one, if you just want to like the ultimate like brag at the country club, you can be like, so what are you guys doing for what are you guys doing for Christmas? Be like, well, I'm going to Fiji, or I'm going to Greece, or whatever it is that you throw out there. Puff your chest out. And then the ultimate trump card is, hey, I'm going to my island.
Now we don't want to cause trouble here, so this is Justin Island, not Epstein Island. We're not going to go there.
Yeah. So again, you think of like Necker Island. So Richard Branson has all these wonderful masterminds. Everybody loves to go down there. The who's all been there. They have retreats and all of these kinds of things. So keep those things in mind of what this is. And there are, like I said, roughly 2,000 islands on the market that we can shop around for you and make sure you find the right one that meets all your priorities. Like I said, there's a lot of different priorities. Some of it's going to be like access to a main island, so you're not too far away. Some people want to get away as far as possible from another human, and you can be down there and do that as well. Some people want to be in a certain geography. Some people want real estate on it. Some people want to start from scratch. And then, of course, there's budgets. There's the somewhere hovering around $1 million, and then it kind of goes, up, 5, 10, 20 in those different varieties. And we kind of show you everything that's available, and either have you go for it yourself and go for it, or we'll kind of walk you through the process. It's up to you.
What about the luxuries of life, as we might call it? Electric, gas, bathrooms.
Even better. So, of course, plumbing and is something that needs to be set up with the builders and the zoning, just like you were going to build it here in the United States. But the thing that's really cool about it, this day and age, you've got wind power and you've got solar power. I have it on my house as well, and it's I use the Tesla battery, and it holds a charge, and it charges my house the whole day. We get brownouts, which happens when it's windy like it is right now. They'll just cut the power. Or a lot of people don't know, just because you have solar power doesn't mean you actually get to use it when they cut the power on purpose in a brownout, so a fire doesn't start or get worse. And when you have a battery, this is just a Tesla solar wall. Well, along with the solar panels on top, it runs your house. So that's what you would do out there in the islands. That's what everybody does, is you have your own power from the sun that is just running your on your Tesla charger is what I use. But you can use whatever you want. And fortunately, technology is here that you don't have to worry about getting on any power grids or any of that.
And you probably have Starlink or something like that, so you're still connected as much as you want to be connected.
You got it.
Now tell me about the Airbnb option. How's that work?
So again, that's another. There technically isn't an Airbnb, but that's the method. Is that there's a network where you can post your property, that what you're going to be, how much it costs to rent it, and things like that. And there's a few different websites that will help get you listed on. And then when you're not there, let's say you're there 4 weeks out of the year, yes, you are invested in a finite asset, but you have those other 48 weeks where you could be renting it out. Like I said, Richard Branson charges, last I checked, $118,500 a day to use his island when he's not there. So it is a proven model that is working. And the further you go down this rabbit hole, the more and more exciting it gets. And you're like, well, wait a second, I can afford it. I can either have real estate on it or build it myself. This is something I can use as a profit center. Tell me more. And that's when you can head over to my website, and I'd love to tell you more over there. It's profitableprivateislands.com. I know that's all spelled out real long, and we'll get a short one for you here soon. But that is the place to go check out and have more of these questions, because I know we're almost out of time here. And I want to thank you again for having me back, Ron.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. This is so intriguing. So profitableprivateislands.com, profitableprivateislands.com. And go check that out. If you have questions, I'm sure there's a way of getting a hold of Justin. If there isn't, call me at 800-306-1990, because I know how to get a hold of Justin. So profitable. If you want to learn more about this, I mean, we in a short radio broadcast, we can't get to everything, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there. and having been an Islander, Justin knows what he's talking about, and I'm sure he can give you all the information you need or get you all the information you need. ProfitablePrivateIslands.com. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day on Ron Siegel Radio.
Getting paid by the hour and older by the minute. My boss just pushed me